So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and Ashley just left for work. She works in the medical field and leaves pretty early every morning. She's been wanting to trade in her bike because she wants a fairing, but she's also been wanting some more power since she's been running next to my Indian and of course also my Road King, and that 107 stock just hasn't been able to keep up with either one. So today, I'm taking her bike down to Dallas, and I got a little surprise for her. This is what her bike is. It's a 2017 Road King. And I had the seat, I custom made and designed the seat for her when I was in Los Angeles, right after she got the bike. She's got the windshield. I did get her some slip-on exhaust pipes, but those didn't really increase the performance at all. It is a beautiful bike, but today we're gonna try to make it just a little bit more beautiful and get it running a little better too. I'll see y'all in Dallas. And welcome to Dallas, Texas. We are the one place I will always go when I'm lucky enough to do it. That is my boy, Rusty from D&D Exhaust. This is where I've brought Ashley's bike to get it tuned up. He did such a great job on my black Road Glide. I thought I absolutely had to take Ashley's bike here if we're going to make some ponies. Currently, the only other things on her bike that are not stock is this beautiful Zero 3D LED rear lighting, and you can see even in here with the lights on how much of a difference it makes. And of course, I've got my man Manny in the house. Manny, how you doing today?
All right, what's up?
All right, man. So for those of you that did not see my Road Glide video, Manny is the man who did all the work on it, and he's a master tech for Harley Davidson. Is that not right? Okay, make sure I get his credentials right. So, and Manny, on my last video, everybody said you looked really angry. I'm trying to explain to them, this is just the way you look.
Yeah, this is my normal face.
And of course, my man Rusty, the owner of D&D Exhaust, Marine Corps veteran and all around badass. He is going to be working on the bike today and kind of overseeing the project. Rusty, what is the goal for today?
Well, we're going to make some more power. That's the main goal. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a baseline, see where she's at right now. Stock 107, from what I understand, we'll see where it ends up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a Redshift 468 cam in it. We're going to put a Thundermax tuner on it. And of course, the most important part, a D&D 2-in-1 billet cat. This is a very, very similar setup to what I have on my bike, and I am more than happy. So I'm super excited to be setting Ashley up with this. Rusty, I got to thank you for your playing your part in it. And of course, Manny, I got to thank you as well for playing your part in it. Let's see what this girl does on the dyno before we touch it. Now that we've got 3 pulls for consistency done on the motorcycle, my boy Rusty here is going to explain to you a little something you should know about your dyno. Okay, so basically what I do when I run the dyno, I make 3 to 4 runs, and then I average those runs to make a consistent run. So they're compare apples to apples. So a lot of people will go out and do just a cold run and then do their work and then come back, and then now they're a hero because they have gained a whole bunch of horsepower. Well, one thing to look at is if the temperature of the oil and the head temperature are not consistent, the horsepower will change dramatically, actually. And here's a prime example. So I made 3 sets of runs. I have run 1, which is blue, run 2, which is red, and run 3, which is black. If you notice, the red and the black ones overlay each other like perfectly. There's no difference. So those are average of 2 different runs, why the head temperature and the oil temperature were at optimum, where it makes the most power and the most consistent power. This run was done actually with the head temperature at the operating temperature, but the oil temperature was not up to its operating temperature, which is usually around 200 degrees when they make their most consistent.
So there you have it. There are variations when you're getting these readouts from these motorcycles, and it's important to have someone you trust and is honest doing this, because as he just demonstrated right here, it's very easy to make it look like you're increasing more power than you actually are by simple things like temperature. And Rusty, there's other tricks you can do too, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of tricks.
So maybe we do another video on just all the tricks and show the different ways you can fluctuate that torque and that horsepower on the exact same bike on the exact same dyno.
Absolutely.
We'll get that to you in the future. But for now, let's start putting some parts on this girl for my lady. Alright, we got it all back together. The D&D exhaust is the only thing you're gonna see that has changed. The rest of it is, of course, that cam and what my boy Rusty is doing right now, which is tuning that Thunder Max. He'll get the right tune on it, and then we'll take some pulls and see the difference that this has made for her. The exhaust is indeed a 2-into-1, but then we run a ghost pipe because the bag has these cutouts in it already, and it just looks silly without both. The real goal here is to create some more power for her. She's running with me on my Road Glide and my Indian. Both of them have pretty big souped up kits in it, and this way she'll be able to ride with me a little bit closer. Run number 1. Let's do it. How's it performing?
It's doing good. We gained 22 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque by doing that little bit that we did. Redshift 468 cam, Thunder Max tuner, and the D&D billet cat 2-into-1. Pretty simple install. Normally I get about 25 horsepower with that, along with an air cleaner, but somebody forgot the air cleaner, so that's with a stock air cleaner.
I would be that somebody. I forgot the air cleaner. We'll get it put on as soon as I get it back to the house, though. You did the pull, you said, in 4th gear low, and why is that?
Well, in 4th gear with the stock ECM, to bring it out all the way to the rev limiter, it was actually, I normally like to do it in 5th gear. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, but it was hitting the speed limiter before it was hitting the rev limiter. So I wanted to be able to compare apples to apples and make sure that I had all the power that it was going to have. So I did all of the runs in 4th gear before and after. So that's this black line right here is your horsepower before. As you can see, it maxed out. It actually maxed out at 4,700 RPMs was total max horsepower before. And now we max out our max horsepower at 5,800 RPMs at 86 horsepower compared to 64 horsepower. So a net gain of 22. Again, that's without the air cleaner. And don't get wrapped up in the numbers. It's all about the percentage of gain.
That's right. This is something that Rusty had explained to me when we did my bike. If you didn't see my bike, you can click this link that's popping up right here if you're watching on YouTube, and you can see that. But basically, different dyno machines and different tricks, like we talked about earlier in this video, can create different numbers. But at the end of the day, if you're doing everything identical before and after the change, it's not really about that number that all those guys like to get tied up in. It's really about the percent of gain. Your bike is as fast as it is, no matter what that machine says it is. And if you can add 20% speed to that, at the end of the day, that's really what matters. And I think we did even better than 20% today, didn't we?
Yeah, we gained a real 22 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque.
22 horsepower, and what was the original horsepower?
The original horsepower was is 64.
So we gained nearly 30%.
Correct.
A nearly 30% gain, not a bad thing, y'all. Rusty, give him the breakdown one more time of the parts.
So we did a Redshift 468 bolt-in cam.
And you will find the cost right here.
We also did the Thunder Max auto tuner.
The cost again right here.
And we did a D&D billet cat 2-into-1 exhaust.
Again, your cost right here. If you're looking for those parts, you can find all those links directly down in the description to the exact parts we used right from these fine manufacturers' stores. Stay tuned. Tomorrow's video will be on comfort. What are we going to do to make this ride just a little bit more comfortable for Miss Ashley? Stay tuned, and remember, you know, Ashley wasn't happy with this bike, and we looked at getting new bikes. But we decided to see if we couldn't do some modifications to this one to make it fit her comfortably. We didn't quit. We didn't give up on her old unicorn because we're not quitters. We are the Americans. All right, Rusty, take it for a ride. Let's see what she does. Whew, that bike sounds good. Always like hearing that.
I think it rips, man. Pretty cool.